Welcome to Connecting PointClickCare with your CRM webinar by DBSync. DBSync is a data management platform delivering everything from simple, easy-to-use, out-of-the-box integration templates to complex custom integrations across many systems. We've been recognized by Gartner and Forrester Research, as well as G2, Crowd, and Capterra. We're proud to serve over 800 customers globally across many verticals. Specifically in healthcare and senior living, Garden City Hospitals, Philips, Specialty Care, and Riverwoods. We also connect with many popular CRMs like Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, and HubSpot. Joining me today is Sanjeev Shetty, our President and COO, and Dominic Gigliotti, our Vice President of Business Development. Welcome to you both.
Thank
Sanjeev,
you.
Yes, why don't you start off by telling us, if you will, about the state of affairs in senior living automation and some of the key use cases you and Dominic are going to discuss, which will really kind of help us illustrate why PointClickCare is such an asset to the healthcare and senior living communities.
Thank you, Adrian, and thanks for having me on this webinar, Connecting Your Digital Enterprise. Before we jump in, Adrian, I think it's apt for me to note that, coming from the senior living industry, there's a huge labor shortage, and 20% of the workforce has left the industry never to come back. So given that backdrop, anything you can do to give people time back in a day or make them more efficient or more productive is definitely something that operators, senior living operators, would welcome with open arms. We recently partnered with PointClickCare, a leading EHR provider, to really demonstrate how we can effortlessly integrate an EHR platform such as PointClickCare to your sales CRM application like Salesforce. And the way we've been able to do that is we've extended our existing cloud workflow solution to really help senior living operators connect their business processes securely, efficiently, and effectively. And what you're going to see today through this webinar is how we're able to do that with just a few clicks. But more importantly, you're going to see the different use cases that exist in the senior living and long-term care community. And a few of them are listed here. This is not all inclusive, but let me just run you through a few of these use cases. First and foremost, when a resident moves in, a lot of the operators are looking for an easy way for the data to move with them, whether it's into the EHR or whether it's out of the EHR to their CRM. And we're able to do that real quick. And you're going to see that here in a few minutes when I actually show you live how that process works. The second area is reducing data entry time for resident move-ins. I think we all know, Adrian, that no one likes to do data entry and especially spend, a big portion of their day doing data entry, especially if you're talking to sales and marketing people. They'd rather be working leads and referrals and not have to deal with moving data around. So one of the value propositions with our solution is the ability to reduce that data entry time for resident move-ins and welcome orientations. So the idea is that as people move in from an acute care system into a skilled nursing facility, that data automatically moves with them into PointClickCare. Third area is increasing staff efficiency. I think I'd mentioned earlier that there is a severe staff shortage in the senior living industry. So automating any kind of data workflow will add to the staff efficiency, and that's what we hope to achieve. And you'll see that the process of actually moving data and records and actually making edits it simply just takes seconds. And you no longer have to deal with the tedious process of taking a data record and putting it into a system of your choice, such as Salesforce. The fourth area is expediting the SNF onboarding and discharge process. We talked a little bit about onboarding, but the same applies for discharge. Typically today, when a person gets discharged, a lot of that paperwork doesn't move automatically with them as they move through the continuum of care, whether it's moving from independent living to assisted living or assisted living to skilled nursing, or vice versa. None of that data actually moves with them. So we've actually made that process much easier as residents and patients move in between the different levels of living in the senior living industry. And last but not least, we're eliminating data silos. And what I mean by that is we're really sort of forcing the industry to enhance their communication across all the business units, so none of the units actually function as silos. So the data moves interchangeably between EHR and CRM, and people now don't have to work in a vacuum. They can actually have data move freely between departments. So that's a little bit about what you're going to see and experience today. I'm now going to turn it over to Dominic, who is going to walk us through the PointClickCare connector application and talk about the features and benefits.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. As Sanjeev has alluded to, there is a major pain point in senior living currently, which is staffing. And our goal as an organization here at DBSync is to make life easier for the staff that's in place at these senior living owner operators and the operation part of things. What we're trying to do is minimize mundane, repetitive tasks by simplifying the flow and exchange of patient-resident data between systems. So with our PointClickCare PCC, which is a short form acronym for PointClickCare, we've created the connector application. And the key features of the connector app are, as we've mentioned, it's to simplify the resident move-in via seamless real-time data integration between the PCC EHR system and the CRM system that's currently being used and deployed in-house at the facility, which could be a Salesforce, HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, for example. The other feature of our connector app is that it makes keeping tabs on resident information easy to do, and updating the important and changing resident information can be done in a snap and only entered once instead of having to enter data twice in 2 different platforms. So that ensures real-time access to current resident data, family contacts, and any other relevant correspondence that pertains to that individual in the community. The other feature of having this in place is that it delights the residents and families by also providing community news and updating them on special events in-house and what's going on in their community on an easy, regular access basis. The benefits of these features, what's most important for the facilities and everybody else in the community, is that this connector app provides a provider-centric automation tool. It also improves resident care coordination. It facilitates seamless updates in resident data. Tremendous time savings. We talk about staffing. There's a shortage of staff. They have a lot to do and not enough time to do it. So we're going to save some time for them so that they can focus on what's most important, which is resident care, instead of data entry multiple times. Therefore, by doing that and saving time, you're also enhancing staff efficiency. Our platform is a no-code platform, which Sanjeev is going to elaborate and go into much more detail on the next slide. Bottom line is that the benefit of our PCC connector app is the effortless exchange of data and the interoperability between multiple systems in play at the senior living community. Sanjeev, I will pass it over to you to talk about the no-code platform.
Thank you, Dominic. So as we look at our pre-built data platform, which is better than really ideally doing a custom integration, one of the mantras that come to mind from a product perspective is we read this book by Steve Krug called Don't Make Me Think. And the idea behind this book was we want to create a solution that followed sort of the pattern of making things simple. We didn't want folks at the senior living communities, the staff, to really have to think on how to make these systems work. And as it is, they're pretty strained. They have long working hours, and they have a lot of different tasks they need to perform and keep the residents happy. So if there's one less thing they need to think about, and that makes their life easier, why not take that approach? So that's the approach we took. And what that does for us is it reduces the time to deployment and provides an immediate ROI. So, the old days of spending months trying to do custom integrations and spend thousands of dollars on these point-to-point integrations just goes out the window. So we just make it simple with a few clicks. We even have pre-built templates you can pick from, which you're going to see here in a few minutes. And you simply, with the click of a few buttons, you are able to transfer information seamlessly. The whole idea behind no code versus low code or coding is that if you don't have an IT staff or you don't have technical resources, this now becomes even easier because you're now using a no code platform where there's not a lot of maintenance or updates that you need to make. We take care of all of that for you. So not only do you reduce your cost, but you also don't have to depend on resources being available to maintain that integration or that development platform. Lastly, the migration of historical data, we take care of that for you as well. So we can migrate any historical data that you may have at the facility. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch gears, and we're going to show you how DBSync can automate, integrate, save time and money by integrating your Salesforce CRM with clicks, not code. And you'll see how we've built templates and a very easy to use interface to have you up and running literally within an hour. So I am going to now show you a screen. So what I have here is the DBSync Cloud Workflow Platform. And this is the platform that you would use to query the database in Salesforce and move data into, move data from your PCC instance to your CRM. So the first use case I'm going to show you is the use case of actually adding a record. So if I go to my PointClickCare instance, we're going to pick one record just for the sake of the demo. And this record happens to be Sherelle Peterson. And we want to make sure Sherelle Peterson is not in Salesforce. So I'm going to switch over to my Salesforce screen and make sure that she does not exist. And we've verified that she does not exist. But she does exist in PointClickCare. So if I were to come back to my DBSync workflow, I'm now able to create a workflow that actually takes Sherelle Peterson's record and moves it over to Salesforce. And by clicking play, what I'm going to do is initiate a process whereby all of the records that have been added into PCC will now be written into Salesforce. So if we look at the console down below, we should see the process running. And as you can see in the console down below, the process has kicked off. I'm doing only one record because I don't want it to take too much time. And we have the capability to actually go and look at the logs to see when the process completes. Right now it's still running. And there you go, it's complete. So now I should be able to go into my Salesforce instance, refresh the screen, and there you go. We have Sherelle Peterson now successfully moved from PointClickCare to Salesforce. The second piece of this demo, what I'm going to illustrate is an actual edit. So I'm going to go into the dashboard and make an edit to Cheryl's emergency contact. So we're going to change this from Cheryl Field to Dominic. Of course, we want to save this. And the nice thing about our platform is we use something called webhooks. So this change that has been made on PointClickCare should reflect on Salesforce rather immediately by me just refreshing the screen. And if I go back down and look at the records, I should see Dominic's name appear here instead of Cheryl Field. So that literally took seconds to update. And all of that was possible through the use of DBSync's cloud workflow platform. So I'm going to now switch back and I am going to turn it over to Adrian, who is going to take us through the next slide and bring us to closure.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev and Dominic, for the demonstration and for giving us so much information about PointClickCare. And it practically like magic, with just a few clicks, we see how amazing it is as far as time saving and just efficiency in general. So for those who are excited by this as well, if you're an MSP and you'd like to learn more about our partner program and how you can add DBSync's product lines to your services practices, please, please, please reach out to us. You can sign up on our form that's listed at the link below, or if you'd like to reach out directly to learn more and get started, you can reach us at sales@mydbsync.com or call us at our 1-877-739-2818 number, please. You can also check out more information at our website at mydbsync.com. Specifically looking for PointClickCare, mydbsync.com/workflow/PointClickCare. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for joining us today.